Star Wars update has officially landed today here in LEGO Fortnite, and today I'm going to show you exactly what I did first, which is making this troop transport fly. I'm going to talk you through exactly how I did it. And if you're new here and into much more LEGO Fortnite content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So the first thing you're going to need to do in order to get this done is in the LEGO Pass rewards on page 2. You can see here we have this first order trooper transport. And the best thing about this is it's a guided build. So you can see right here under the prefab section, we have the first order trooper transport. Once you find an area to place this down, you can just simply start the build and start placing and following until you have the entire thing finished. After finishing the build and adding a few balloons to the interior, I took out the stairs and the foundation underneath. You're gonna get to a point though where the last piece is very hard to get to, so I recommend using a blaster to knock that one out. Another thing I did was I reinforced the wings. I was afraid that if I crashed into something, this whole entire section would come off and that would be bad news. So I just used some half walls and connected to these little flat parts on the side there and to the wings. And I did 3 of them on both sides. So next I opened these up, and as you can see on the inside there, I used the vehicle base 3 from Toys and Car Parts right here. You can snap balloons sideways, and what I did was I staggered them. I had 3 on this section. I broke this off, and so they're gone, but we'll put those back. And then I had 3 on the opposite end, and I actually did the exact same thing over here on the other side. Now, the other thing I will recommend doing looking back is adding some to this bottom section as well. I left those out and just kind of really loaded up the top section of balloons once I realized that there was really not a great chance of me hiding every single balloon. So next what I did was I came up onto the second floor, and I knew this was going to take a ton of balloons, so I wasn't really too concerned with hiding them. But I used these vehicle base 3s. These can be found in the toy section under car parts right here. I put them and lined them inside of these little kind of cubbies inside of the walls on the top here. And then I added a ton of the balloons. You can use snap mode and make them go to a horizontal profile. And I also did the same thing around the front end here. That was definitely not enough to get this thing lifted off the ground, so what I did was slowly start to place groupings of balloons in the front and rear corners until I had somewhat of a tiny float off the ground. As you can see, this has taken a number of red balloons, so you're going to kind of just take it one by one until you get the right balance. And then once I had this basically floating barely off the ground, then I went ahead and added a lot of these activated balloons. I tried to do my best to keep those even, both in the front and the back. And then what that does is it allows us to actually get liftoff when we go ahead and activate them. So the piece I'm showing you right now is actually attached to the back of these sections here. And when I attempted to add the large thrusters, it wasn't allowing them to accept it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I couldn't really find anywhere on here other than just like an angle for these to actually go on. So what I ended up having to do was break those off. And then what you can see here is I added 5 thrusters to each side of this centerpiece on the top and the bottom on both sides. Now from here what I did was I left all of the ones on the inside right here to channel 3, and then for turning I tuned these ones to channel 1 on the left side outside, and then all of these here on the right outside to channel 2. So I also added some of the additional thrusters here on these bottom legs. Now, I know you could probably break those out and have it look a lot better, but I just left them on there. And once I got the lift, you can see here, I put a little bit of those simple wheels under here to cushion the landing. And then lastly, I just added driver seats to capture different angles when flying. This one is actually really nice. I also went ahead and added some on the interior. So I've got one in the back here by the bed in this compartment, and then I put one up front here in the second floor. And I'm sure there's probably some cleaner ways of doing this, but quite honestly, this gets the job done. Let's go ahead and take a look at this thing in action. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. We'll catch you all in the next one.